Inside a well, life can get tangled. Might the money. Might the money. Might the money. I'm making money, Mike the.
You're now tuned in to the Mic'd Up Money Radio Show, where faith meets finance and real talk fuels your comeback. This isn't hype, it's healing. This isn't theory, it's transformation. If you're building a brand, a vision, or trying to get back on your feet, this show is your reset button. Welcome to the table where entrepreneurs talk money with clarity, courage, and conviction. Let's get mic'd up.
This podcast or broadcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered legal, health, tax, or professional advice. Always consult a licensed professional for specific advice related to your situation. Thank you. Welcome to Mic'd Up Money Media, where we talk about the money, the mindset, the systems, and the strategy behind real entrepreneurship. I'm Efrem, and today Jasmine and I are talking about something every entrepreneur claims they understand, but many struggle to actually do. Today's episode is called Execution Strategy in Motion. A strategy that does not move is really not strategy yet. It is a thought, it is a hope, might even be a beautiful plan, but until it turns into action, measurement, feedback, correction, promotion, and financial movement, it's just sitting there looking intelligent.
And that's where a lot of business owners get stuck. They are not just necessarily lazy. They are not just necessarily unqualified. Many of them are smart, talented, gifted, and full of ideas, but they do not have the execution system. They have notebooks, they have screenshots, they have voice notes, they have Canva designs, they have business cards, they have logos, they have coming soon energy, but they do not have a weekly execution rhythm.
That is it. Some people are addicted to the feeling of planning because planning feels productive without making them face the marketplace. When you are planning, nobody has rejected the offer yet. Nobody has questioned the price yet. No one has ignored the post yet. Nobody has compared you to a competitor yet. Planning protects the ego, but execution exposes the truth.
And that is not a bad thing. Execution gives you information. It tells you what works, what does not work, what needs to be clearer, what needs to be faster, what needs to be automated, what needs to be promoted, and what needs to be corrected.
So today we are going to walk through execution from 5 angles: strategy, efficiency, feedback correction, financial promotion mindset, and collaborative masterminds. Because your strategy is not moving, your money is probably waiting. Strategy is not a plan. Strategy is the movement. Strategy is not the plan. Strategy is the movement. People love to say, I have a strategy. But when you ask, what did the strategy cause you to do this week? The room gets quiet enough to hear a mouse apply for an LLC. A real strategy should tell you what to do next. It should give you direction. It should prioritize activity. It should tell you what to stop doing, what to start doing, what to measure, and what to repeat.
And that's important because a lot of entrepreneurs confuse intention with direction. They say, I want to grow. They say, that is not a strategy. They say that it's a desire. They say, I want more customers. That is not strategy. That is a wish. They say, I want to make more money. That is not strategy. That is an emergency statement.
Exactly. If you say, I want to grow revenue, then the next question is how? Are you going to increase prices, improve your offer, follow up with past customers, build referral partnerships, create a new service package, run a promotion, improve your sales process, stop serving customers who drain your business?
And from an efficiency standpoint, the moment you know the strategy, you need to ask, what system supports this? If the strategy is a customer follow-up, where is the follow-up list? If the strategy is content marketing, where is the content calendar? If the strategy is a selling service, where's your offer sheet?
Execution cannot depend on memory and mood. Some entrepreneurs only work the strategy when they feel inspired. That is dangerous. Inspiration is real, but it is unreliable. You cannot build a serious business only on inspired Tuesday night.
And you definitely cannot build a business when every task starts from scratch. If you keep rewriting the same email, re-explaining the same processes, recreating the same flyers, and rebuilding the same proposals, you are not executing efficiently. You're burning time.
Here is a question for the listeners. If someone looked at your calendar this week, could they tell what your strategy is, not what you said your strategy is. Could they look at your calendar, your follow-ups, your posts, your calls, your proposals, your invoices, and your customer communication and say, I see the strategy moving?
And that is a reality check. Your calendar tells the truth. Your bank account tells the truth. Your customer pipeline tells the truth. And your follow-up system tells the truth. Sometimes the truth is business owners are just busy. The strategy is unemployed.
The strategy is unemployed, that no one needs a moment. Some strategies are sitting around waiting for the owner to give them a job. So here is the first challenge. Take one strategy and turn it into 3 weekly actions. If the strategy is to get more customers, your weekly actions may be contact 10 past customers or warm lead. Post one clear offer with a call to action and ask 3 current customers for referrals or testimony.
And then track that. How many people responded? How many people booked? How many people asked questions? Who ignored it? How many people need that information? And that tracking is what's going to help you improve your strategy instead of emotionally reacting to the week. Bottom line, strategy is not real until it moves. If it is moving, you should see it in your schedule. Communication, follow-up, delivery, and eventually your money too.
Think 2 steps past the first action. Let's add another layer to this conversation. Execution is not just movement. It is a strategic movement. Some people move fast, but they do not think far enough. They say, I'm about to launch. Good. But what happens after you launch?
And that's the thing. So execution is not just asking, what do I need to do? It's also asking, what happens next after I do it?
Exactly. A lot of entrepreneurs make first moves without thinking about second moves. They post an offer, but they do not prepare for questions. They raise the price, but they do not prepare proof of value. They get attention, but they do not prepare for the follow-up system.
And that creates operational stress because if the first move works, but the system is not ready, success can become a problem. You wanted the customers, but now you can't respond to them fast enough. You wanted to make some money off sales, but now fulfillment is messy.
This is why strategic execution means thinking 2 steps ahead, not 10 years ahead where you get overwhelmed, not fantasy ahead where everything magically works, but 2 practical steps ahead. If you do this, what is the likely response? If they respond this way, what should you do next? If this works, can I handle it? If it does not work, what would I learn?
And some entrepreneurs only plan for success emotionally. They do not plan for success operationally.
Yes, they want the blessing, but they do not want to have the basket. If your execution creates demand that your system cannot handle, the customer may not blame your system, they may blame your brain.
And that is why efficiency and strategy have to work together. Strategy creates the move, efficiency prepares the plan.
So before you make a major business move, ask the next move question. What will the customer ask? What will they doubt? What proof will they need? What step must be easy? What objection will slow them down? What system must be ready? What money result am I expecting?
The listeners should not just ask, what am I doing this week? They should ask, what will this action trigger? And am I ready for the next step? Strategy is not just about making your move. Strategy is about understanding what your move causes next.
So if strategy has to move, the next question is, how do we keep the movement from becoming chaos?
And that is where efficiency comes in. Movement without structure can wear you out and still not make you money. Let's talk about efficiency. This is where a lot of entrepreneurs get exposed. They say, I'm busy, but busy doing what? Because busy does not automatically mean productive. Busy does not automatically mean profitable. Sometimes busy just means you're disorganized with speed.
Disorganized with speed. From a business strategy standpoint, every activity is not equal. Some activities are close to the money. Some activities support the money. Some activities protect the money. And some activities just make you feel like you're doing something.
Efficiency asks, what works creates the most useful output with the least unnecessary waste? Waste is not just money. It can be time, attention, confusion, making duplicated efforts, emotional exhaustion, and poor communication.
Let's give an example. An entrepreneur says, I need more clients. But when someone asks about services, they do not have a service menu, pricing guide, booking link, intake form, follow-up message, capability statement, a simple explanation of the problem they solve. That is not just marketing. That is an execution leakage.
And it creates friction when a customer has to work too hard to understand what you do. how much it costs, how to start, or what happens next. They move on to somebody else. Sometimes people are not rejecting the business, they are rejecting the confusion. It needs to be customer friendly.
Confused customers do not usually say, I am confused. They say, let me think about it. They say, send me something. They disappear into the witness protection program of lost prospect.
Efficiency makes the next step easy. Efficiency reduces confusion. Efficiency speeds up response time. It creates consistency. It keeps business owners from being a bottleneck.
So what should entrepreneurs system?
They should start with anything you repeat often. If you answer the same question often, create a FAQ. It's a fact sheet. If you send the same email often, create a template. If you onboard customers often, create a checklist. If you post content, create a content calendar. And if you forget follow-up, create a tracking system.
Some people say, when I grow, I get organized. No, you may need to get organized so you can grow. Disorganization taxes growth. It taxes your energy, credibility, customer experience, and money.
And it creates hidden costs. If you spend 2 hours every week looking for files, writing messages, correcting avoidable errors, or trying to remember who you were supposed to call back, that is lost capacity.
If your time is worth $75 an hour and you waste 5 hours a week because your systems are weak, that is $375 a week in lost capacity. Over a year, that is nearly $20,000 in potential productivity loss. Everyone wants to talk about 6 figures, but some people are leaking 5 figures through poor execution. Bottom line, busy is not bankable. Efficient execution is bankable.
Once the system is moving, you need information. You need to know what the market is saying back to you.
And that means we have to talk about feedback, not as criticism, but as correction fuel. Now let's deal with feedback. That is the part many entrepreneurs do not like because feedback can feel personal. But feedback is not automatically an insult. Feedback is information.
You do not have to accept everybody's opinion, but you should look for patterns. One person's opinion may be noise, but 5 people asking the same question, that just might be a signal. And 10 people misunderstanding your offer may be a message to solve the problem.
Feedback becomes valuable when you stop treating every comment like a personal attack and start treating it like market intelligence. If people keep saying your price is too high, maybe it is too high, but maybe you have not explained the value. Maybe the offer is unclear. Maybe you are presenting a premium price with a bargain bin explanation.
The customer is not only evaluating the price, they are evaluating your confidence, clarity, professionalism, your proof, credibility, and perceived value.
And here's where entrepreneurs get in trouble. Instead of correcting the message, they attack the customer. They just don't understand quality. They do not want to pay. Maybe you do not build the bridge between your price and their pain.
And that is why feedback correction needs a process. I like the 4R feedback correction loop. Receive, record, review, and respond.
Let's do a role play. I am the entrepreneur. Jasmine is the efficiency reality check. I say, Jasmine, I posted 3 times and nobody bought.
Okay, did you make the offer clear?
Well, I told people I was excited about what I was doing.
That is not an offer. Did you tell them what problem you solved?
Not directly.
Did you tell them who it was for?
I want everyone to feel included.
That may be the part of the problem. Did you include a call to action?
I said, inbox me for detail.
Did you explain the details before asking them to inbox you?
Not really.
Did you follow up with the people who liked, comment, or showed interest?
No, I did not want to bother them.
Then you did not promote. You performed disappointment.
Have mercy. I performed disappointment. Somebody put that on a t-shirt, but that is the truth. Some entrepreneurs think they promoted, but they did not make an offer. They hinted, they hoped, they posted a vibe, then they got offended when the vibe did not invoice anybody.
The correction may be simple. Clarify your offer, add your proof, explain your outcome, give the price or your next step, make sure you follow up, track those responses, and then repost it with better language.
Feedback not only is what people say, feedback is also what people do. If no one clicks, that is feedback. If people click but do not buy, that is feedback. If people ask the same question, that is feedback. If people buy once but do not come back, that is feedback. Bottom line, feedback is not your enemy. Unused feedback is your enemy. After you receive feedback and make corrections, you still have to put the offer back in front of people.
Corrected value still has to be promoted. Silent improvement does not pay invoices.
Now let's talk about promotion. This is where a lot of entrepreneurs get quiet. They love the idea, the logo, the service, the product, and the dream. But when it's time to clearly tell people what they sell and ask for the sale, suddenly they become shy, spiritual, mysterious, and vague.
And sometimes they call it humility, but honestly, it's just discomfort, lack of feel confident.
All right. Promotion is not begging. Promotion is business communication. If you believe your product or service helps people, why are you hiding it? I am not saying being annoying or manipulative, but you cannot expect a market to buy what the market does not understand, does not remember, or does not see.
And your promotion needs structure. If you only promote when you feel inspired, your revenue may become inconsistent. You need a promotional rhythm, problem awareness, educational tip, customer story, explanation, a call to action, a behind the scenes, and a recap.
Many entrepreneurs post randomly and then judge the business by random results. They say social media does not work. No, random posting with unclear offers may not work. People may not be rejecting small business. They may be rejecting confusion, inconsistency, and unclear value.
A financial promotional mindset means you have to understand that visibility, trust, education, follow-up, and repeated offers are part of a revenue creation. Promotion is not extra. It is a part of the business model.
If your business needs money, your business needs promotion. Somebody may say, I do not want to sound salesy. Here is the better question. Do you want to sound unclear? Because unclear does not serve people either.
Promotion does not always have to be aggressive. It can be helpful, educational, story-based, problem-solving, and invitational. The key is clarity.
Tell people what you offer, who it will help, what problem it solves, what it matters, what result can they expect, and what the next step is.
And track the promotion. How many posts, how many responses, how many inquiries, how many follow-ups, how many conversions. If you do not track that, you cannot improve. Some entrepreneurs are not underpaid because they lack talent. They are underpaid because they're underpromoted. Now, promotion creates movement, but sometimes execution needs support, perspective, and fresh ideas.
That brings us to creativity, inspiration, and the power of the right mastermind. Execution does not mean becoming robotic. Strategy in motion still needs imagination, new thinking, and inspiration. But inspiration has to be connected to implementation.
Creativity is powerful, but creativity without structure can become a distraction. Some entrepreneurs keep getting new ideas because the new ideas feel exciting, but the older ideas never get executed. So they just keep starting, remaining, rebranding, and restarting.
That is innovation without completion. Sounds fancy? Deal broke. Creativity should help you solve problems, improve offers, reach customers, and create new value. But it should not become an excuse to avoid finishing.
The right people can help you think through problems, see blind spots, improve systems, and stay accountable. But the key phrase is the right people.
Everybody does not belong in your thinking room. Some people inspire you. Some people drain you. Some people confuse you. Some people compete quietly. Some people clap publicly but discourage privately. Some people help you execute. Know the difference.
A true mastermind should have structure, a clear agenda, problem solving, round, progress update, feedback section, a resource sharing section, a commitment section, and accountability follow-up.
A mastermind without execution is just expensive group therapy with snacks. Do not call it a mastermind if nobody leaves with a decision, deadline, correction, or action step.
A mastermind should ask, what are you trying to accomplish? What did you commit to last time? What actually happened? What got in the way? What correction is needed? What will you do before the next meeting? And how will we know it is done?
If you enter a mastermind only wanting applause, you're not ready for a mastermind. You are looking for a fan club. A real mastermind will challenge your assumptions, ask about your numbers, and test whether your systems can support your ambition.
It should also create a user inspiration, a new way to solve the problem, a connection to make, a process to simplify, a blind spot to address, and an action to execute next. Creativity gives strategy, fresh opinions. Inspiration gives strategy, energy. Collaboration gives strategy, support. Execution gives strategy, result.
Quick, mic'd up money movement. Don't just listen to this episode and say, that was good. Good is not the goal. Execution is the goal. Follow and subscribe to Mic'd Up Money Media on social media and YouTube because this episode has tools you can actually use. The Execution in Motion Scorecard, the 4R Feedback Correction Loop, the 7-Day Strategy in Motion Challenge, and the 2-Step Strategic Execution Planner. These tools help you stop guessing, stop drifting, and start calling confusion strategy. You need to know what you are moving, what feedback you are getting, what correction you are making, and what money result you are tracking. Because a strategy without tools is just a conversation, but a strategy with tools, deadlines, and correction, now we are talking business. As we close, let's bring this home. Execution is where strategy stops trying to impress people and starts producing results. You do not need another notebook full of dreams if the last notebook never made it to the marketplace. You do not need another logo if customers still do not understand the offer. You do not need another meeting if no one leads with action steps. You do not need another motivational quote if you still have not followed up with the person who asked you for the price.
And you do not need to fix everything this week. You need to move one meaningful thing forward. And that is the difference between panic execution and strategic execution.
So here's the challenge this week. Take the 7-Day Strategy in Motion Challenge. Choose one offer or business goal. Write down the customer problem it solves. Create one clear promotional message. Send it, post it, or present it. Ask for feedback. Make one correction. Follow up and track one money-related result.
After those 7 days to review what happened, what moved, what stalled, what confused people, what created interest, and what needs to be repeated, what needs to be corrected, and what needs to be removed.
So let me ask you, listener, what strategy has been sitting still in your life? What offer have you been hiding? What feedback have you been ignoring? What system have you been avoiding? What promotion have you been delaying? What collaboration do you need to see?
Execution is not about perfect timing. It's about moving with enough clarity to learn, correct, and improve.
Stop worshiping the plan. Stop moving the strategy. This is Mic'd Up Money Media. Real conversation, real strategies, real result. Get clear, get moving, get corrected, get paid, and whatever you do not let your strategy die in a notebook.
That's a wrap for this week on Mic'd Up Money. Don't forget to grab your free tools at mic'dupmoney.com. Follow us at Mic'd Up Money on all social platforms and keep taking your next right money move. Until next time, stay reset, stay ready, and stay mic'd up.